Nah. I think I hear a terrible Foxbody Mustang. Perfect. Well, let's that's right there. Go back a little bit. All right, so as you guys can see, we have this very cool Foxbody Mustang. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Brandon Amos, and this is my dad's car, Tony Amos.
Okay, Tony's behind the camera there, but can you tell me the story of the car?
So my dad's owned this for about 20 years. He picked it up in New York, and the car's been built about the length he's owned it. We've been wanting to go over the car for some time. It sat for a while with the engine messed up in it.
Sure. What happened to the old engine?
It always had a peck to it. He ended up putting a 331 in it, still had a peck. Then we ended up putting this engine in. This engine in a previous car made about 1280 on the dyno spinning.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What is done to the engine? Is this, it's a 5.0, right?
It's a Boss 302 block. It's all aftermarket. Just about everything you can do to it.
Yeah, with it still being the stock block kind of thing.
Previously, this engine was the fastest AOD car in the world.
Don't know what that means, but that sounds impressive.
Yeah.
It's got 45,000 original miles.
43? Yeah.
43,000 original miles, and it's this crazy. I mean, it's still clean. It still looks like it's got 43,000 miles.
And it's got the rare beige interior.
Yeah, the interior is immaculate, and now we're not gonna cut it up, we're just gonna put a bigger turbo on it.
Yep.
And so there we go. So for this Foxbody, we're doing a couple of main things. For one, we are upgrading the 7875 turbo that's on there to a Garrett G45. And this new turbo is way bigger.
Pipe is, you gotta take.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that's a huge difference. Now, since the new turbo is bigger and heavier, we have to build a mount for it that actually supports the weight of it instead of just letting the exhaust hold it up. Other things we have to do to get the turbo to fit, probably modify the intercooler piping, add water lines, and then we are going to build a new 3.5-inch downpipe. So yeah, I think downpipe wise, it looks like I think I can fit a 3.5-inch in there pretty easily. And then we are going to build a new 3.5-inch exhaust. It's just something simple with one resonator, a little turn down. So pretty much a full hot side of a turbo kit. But before we can do any of that, we have to remove the old turbo, disassemble this section of the engine bay, get that side of the turbo manifold off, and then we can start chopping it. So I'm thinking the first order of business on this thing is to go ahead and cut the flange off of this manifold and mount the new turbo to this manifold. From there, we can mount it to the engine and support it and modify the downpipe and the intercooler piping. But the hardest thing to line up is gonna be this, so do it first. But now, real quick before we continue with this Mustang, I need to take a moment to thank this video sponsor, AG1. Now you might be asking yourself, well, what is AG1? AG1 is a clinically backed daily health drink that combines your multivitamins, pre and probiotics, superfoods, and antioxidants into one simple scoop. It's very simple to make. You have your AG1 powder, whether it's their classic flavor or one of their new flavors, tropical, citrus, or berry. You either use their handy dandy scooper or their handy dandy travel packs. Put it in somewhere between 8 and 12 ounces of cold water, shake it up, add some ice, and enjoy. Fun fact, I worked with AG1 in 2021, 2022, and ever since then, I've been enjoying AG1 pretty much every day. With 5 probiotic strains and over 75 vitamins and minerals, AG1 Next Gen replaces the need for a multivitamin, probiotics, and more. AG1 Next Gen is clinically shown to support gut health and fill common nutrition gaps. And for me, I've noticed a lot of benefits when I drink AG1. For one, it supports my overall immune health with its antioxidants. Secondly, I've noticed it supports my energy levels, and that's because of its enhanced B vitamin complex. And then lastly, it's helped my gut health. AG1 Next Gen's 5 new strains of probiotics have been shown to play a role in digestion, immune function, alleviate occasional bloating, increasing the number of beneficial bacteria. And on a personal level, when I'm trying to be healthy, having just one extra thing to do to make yourself feel better is super valuable. I also really do genuinely love the taste, and I look forward to drinking it every morning. It's a good way to wake up and get yourself out of bed. I do this, and then do my coffee. So, if you guys are interested, you can go to drinkag1.com/Gingium or scan this QR code on the screen. You'll get a free welcome kit when you subscribe, which includes a free bottle of vitamin D and free AG1 travel packs. Huge thank you to AG1 for sponsoring this video and for making such a delicious product. Let's get back to this big turbo Mustang. So this is the inlet flange for the turbo right here, and it's a little big for this pipe, and this was kind of ovaled out. I was able to turn it more into a circle with this cone die. I love that thing, but it's not quite perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to weld the flange to a bit of 3-inch steel, and then I can work with this steel to get it to fit up to the manifold nicely. I'm not sure if you can also notice, but this manifold is also quite a bit thinner, and I'm fairly certain it's mild steel, not stainless steel. I mean, look at how rusty this whole thing is, right? Stainless steel don't do that. So that's gonna be an interesting thing in itself. How good will this stuff weld? I don't know. Yeah, I kinda have to ground this. All right, so the turbo is officially mounted, at least to the manifold, right? So we are gonna build a physical mount for it to support the weight of that beast, but it's where we want it. Clears the hood, clears everything, clears the intercooler piping, clears the everything. It's all good. Now we have to modify the up pipe that's right there that was going to the rusted out V-band. Obviously a rusty V-band ain't gonna make some horsepower, so we gotta change that. Honestly, I would like to redo this entire thing. All of this is mild steel and it's all very rusty, but not my decision to make. Let's cut this and modify it. Putting this turbo in. So that's pretty much step one done. The hot side going into the turbo, all finished. Turbo's where we want it. Now I'm going to make a sturdy mount to support the weight of the turbo. The turbo's really heavy, and this old kind of crusty manifold, you don't want to rely on that holding up this big thing. It's probably gonna crack. So we're gonna support it. This turbo came with like a little mount that attached to the bottom there, and I think we're just gonna have it kind of come up to this alternator mount. So I took off the alternator just to knock out this little spacer on the bottom. My idea, slide this back kind of where it's supposed to be-ish there, right? I'm gonna build a bracket that comes up to this top bolt and to the bottom bolt of the alternator. That'll hold it nice and securely. This, my friends, how does this go? It's a nice bracket. It's a nice bracket, that's all I gotta say. Oh no. Really? Take it back. Not a nice bracket. I have to redo the entire thing. I didn't fucking account for the thickness of that. Duh. So we got that bracket going around the alternator there, and now we just have to make a little piece that connects it to that block down there right below the fitting. You can't really see it, but it's just going to be a little 1-inch square tube section. I think that looks really nice. Been kind of a pain in the ass to get this thing to fit. It's a big turbo, and I mean, it's a big engine bay, but it certainly starts to feel small when you try to smash a huge turbo in it. It's a little annoying to get out with the alternator right there, but it's possible, and I'd say that's a nice amount. So we got the new turbo mounted. It's all actually bolted down to the manifold, to the mount that we made. I got the radiator hose modified and put in there. Got some new coolant lines because this turbo is water cooled, so I added those for the customer, and got the oil feed and drain lines on there. So this is all ready to go. Now we have to modify the intercooler piping because the old turbo was just like a silicone flange. This actually has a clamp, so we'll do that real quick, and then we got to make a downpipe. So we're gonna let the paint on that intercooler pipe dry. And while we do that, I'm gonna work on this downpipe. It's gonna be tricky, just like the rest. This section is easy. It just has to kind of S around the strut tower, but then we gotta fit it down into that hole. There's space there, but not a lot of space. There it is. The downpipe does clear, and that was actually relatively easy. Now we're not out of the woods yet. As you can tell, it's not quite long enough. So, extension with the V-band on it. And the V-band is the thing I'm worried about. Can we remove the downpipe once that V-band's on there? I'm gonna go ahead and tack it in from down here and then try to pull it out through the top. See what happens. Aha! The intercooler piping, this coupler, you just have to kind of squeeze it. Okay. I'm gonna tack it more and then, actually let me just see if I can reinstall it real quick. There we go, yeah. Sick. Haha! Yeah! So now I'm gonna weld this downpipe up. I do have to be careful because I wanna make sure to not warp it. So I tacked it a bunch. I mean, I think there's about 16 tacks on each seam, and I'm gonna do one bead on each side, let it cool off, then rotate 90 degrees, etc. until it's done. So it's gonna take a little bit longer, but it doesn't have very much room. So if it warps too much, it's not gonna fit. So we got it all welded up and we added an O2 bung. Before we go ahead and install this, we are going to heat wrap it, per the request of the owner. Pray for my hands and my arms. It's gonna be itchy. There we go. Before we actually do the rest of the exhaust, I kind of just want to hear it with the open downpipe. So we filled it up with coolant. We can also bleed the system, make sure that there's actually coolant up in these turbo lines and whatnot. Get oil in the turbo and see how she sounds. All right, shall we? Wow. That's probably the craziest sounding thing I've ever had in my shop. Burning off, that's good. This thing is wild. Oh, you can hear the turbo. Holy shit. Okay. That was too crazy and loud for me. That turbo ain't quieting it much. It's a big turbine housing, so I'm not surprised. But it sounded good. I mean, you could hear the turbo noise a little bit at idle, and with a little bit of revs. Kind of sounds like it's misfiring, but I don't know. It also has a big cam, so I'm not gonna worry about that. That's not my problem. I think we should definitely put an exhaust with a resonator on here because this thing is loud. This exhaust is going to be pretty simple. Right here is where the downpipe exits. It's just gonna turn, go straight for a little bit, have the resonator, then it's just gonna be a little turn down. So pretty much a straight pipe with a resonator. But this curve is probably gonna be the most difficult part. Also, when I started it for that second, it blew out a bunch of rust from all the other exhaust pipes. So that worked out nicely. Now I have to have a 12-degree bend here to shoot for the nice little cutout in the cross member. Test fit our resonator, and it does fit nicely right here. The weird kind of thing is that cutout for this cross member here is, and the cutout for that cross member is over there, so the resonator is going to be kind of sideways. We're trying to get this sit as high as possible. There's obviously space constraints when you are dealing with a 3.5 inch. Honestly, I could just probably go straight. That actually might be better. Making this go straight and then go back. Just kind of make this just slightly angle. Yeah, that works nicely. In fact, I can even probably do it more over a bit, so this has to angle less. Okay, all right. Man, the front of this resonator does hang low though. I think we are still gonna put a turn here just to get it as high as possible. Here goes nothing. There we go. Much better actually, volume-wise. It's still loud in here, but this thing's rowdy. Everything up here got nice and warm. This is hot, so coolant is in there, and these are hot, so all the coolant's bled, so that's good. And I think our work here is, hey, see how long it'll spin. I'm really impressed with this turbo. It seems like it spins really freely, but I think it's still journal bearing. But yeah, there we are. The owner's picking it up tomorrow, so let's get their thoughts. Hey. Yeah, the solid, it is loud. Pretty sick.
That's a great difference.
Yeah, when I first started it, I was like, damn. Oh, that sounds sick. You hear that flutter? That's cool. So I'm sitting here in my office editing this video and I realized I didn't record an outro. I've had a super busy week and I'm leaving tomorrow morning to go on a little camping trip, but that's part of a video. And so I'm filming this with like no mic. It's gonna sound like it's gonna be awful, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Turbo seems to be working great, sounds great. All thumbs up right there. Huge thank you to Brandon and Tony for trusting me with your car. They let me know that in the entire ownership of that car, they had never dropped it off of the shop. They've never dropped it off anywhere. And they never trusted anyone to do that. And yet they trusted me. So that really means the world to me. It was pretty awesome. And I really, really, really liked this project. It was like the perfect amount of fabrication and the perfect amount of difficulty. You know, building just an exhaust is kind of boring for me because usually it's pretty easy. Doing turbo stuff is very fun. It was a challenge to get that to fit. It was a challenge to weld to the kind of crappy turbo kit. Like it was really bad steel, but that was still kind of fun. It was awesome. I had a really good time with this Mustang. I do wish I filmed a little bit more. It was a bit rushed because I was also working on the IS300 during this process. That's something I'm still kind of learning with this new customer build thing is trying to work on multiple cars and film multiple videos and still be attentive and everything. It's very hard, believe it or not. There's only so much stuff I can keep into this little noggin. And I do apologize, there's not more footage of the car driving or revving or doing pulls or doing a ride along. It was untuned, so we couldn't really do anything too crazy with it. But in the next video, it's working on my projects. So that's gonna be kind of fun. I'm really excited for it. It's been a while. If you do want to support the channel, please check out Patreon. Whoa, why am I like? Please check out Patreon. You can get access to a bunch of awesome perks and help support the channel a lot. Otherwise, you can check out Ministries, get parts for your car or merchandise. New stuff coming soon. And if you want some fabrication work done in your car, go submit a form. And also, you can check out AG1. Thanks to them for sponsoring this video. I'll see you guys next time. I pulled the Mustang out just to get some B-roll, and man, listen to this turbo noise.